Well, I love what's been going on with the brand over the last few years, and it's kind of rebuilding and raising the bar. I think it's really probably that I find most intriguing is how high they've raised the bar in terms of everything that they do, from a quality standpoint, from a design standpoint, from a fit and finish standpoint, and a creativity standpoint. I really feel like, you know, they are really gearing themselves. They want to be the best in the world. They don't want to just compete with American car makers. They want to compete at a world level, and they want to be the best of that level, and I'm super impressed with that. You know, as a designer, you always look at things and you look at the lines of things, and you always kind of think about how you may do it. If you're an architect and you look at a building, you're going to look at it like what you may have done differently, or that's perfection, I couldn't do any better. And every once in a while you run into something that you're jealous of and you say, I couldn't do it any better than that. It's totally amazing. So I never really thought about the car thing that much, other than I love the lines of cars. I've always been a car enthusiast since I was a young kid growing up in Detroit. I worked a couple of summers in a Chrysler plant assembling brake pads. But I love the grit of the muscle cars when I was growing up. I love the roar of the engines. I love the lines of those cars. I love the wheels on those cars. So throughout my life, I've always paid a lot of attention to cars, and they've been an inspiration to me in my design. I always have pictures. I never have fashion on my walls in my studio. It could be rock stars, it could be album covers, and a lot of cars, gauges, interiors, that type of thing. And I think they also look at the fashion world in that way as well, in a way to get inspired. I think in whatever you design, you're always looking to other things for inspiration.
It's in sort of ways that it's an example of how America is. It's not a atypical, it's not a mass-marketed vehicle, although it was a mass-marketed produced car. It was more exclusively shaped by its owners. And so now that we have met with someone who knows and does designing for a living in the fashion industry, is someone who can help us to put that layer of sophistication on a Detroit muscle like the 300, and bring the thumbprints of fashion fingers, if you want, onto vehicles. It's just another level of sophistication that we want to share with the rest of the country, and something that also resonates with consumers that want to dress themselves with what they drive, as we do every morning when we get into a car, and something that's exclusive at the same time. So it's not necessarily something that will be available for everybody, and that may not attract everyone, but there are folks that are fashion savvy and appreciative of design in general, and details and materials and sophistications to the nth degree. And that's what we've done with this project, and it's going to be, it's already been received very positively in the New York fashion show, New York show, auto show that we displayed the car at. And it gave us another reason why we have to have this car, not only because we love it, but also the feedback we got. Number one, we're looking for partnerships with folks that think like we think and have the attitude and personality and ethics that we do. Hard work, grit, and a certain level of sophistication with everything that we do. And so when you look at mass-produced vehicles in the marketplace, it's almost that the customer doesn't have a choice. You're telling what the customer needs to have, instead of having to give them options to fit their lifestyle, to fit their needs and so forth, and the way they want to treat themselves. And so we reach today the consumer that is looking for comfort, luxury, non-compromising quality, technology, and safety, and fuel economy. All this is available in this new 300. But now, what will separate us from the sea of sameness from other brands' offerings is to speak to and deliver to that customer tailor-made vehicles that it speaks to their own personality and their own lifestyle. So some folks have interest in fashion and design in general. This car will speak to them in their world and will be appreciated by them. Other people are interested in music, and that's why we have a Beats vehicle for them. Some others may have other affinities of film, and we have vehicles to play to that. Some people have interest in outdoor lifestyles. We have an all-wheel drive Glacier vehicle for that. And so we're trying to build product details, materials, specifics, elements that are attribute in a product delivery perspective before we say it's a lifestyle-y image to it. And so this delivers on the fashion element of it. It delivers on the design elements of it. If you look around the car and you notice all of the different details that John has designed and redesigned and spec'd that are picked specifically from his fashion line, it's almost impossible in an industrial machine like ours to have such an exotic selections of things to be changed and tailor-made into a specific number of vehicle of 2,000 cars. It started with the Chrysler brand wanting to claim the Detroit background and the Detroit resurrection and the Detroit longevity and the Detroit comeback, and to prove that on the product side. And to do that, we had to link up ourselves first with the message with folks that exemplify Detroit in the best ways. We started with Marshall Mathers M&M in February 2010. And then we went to who else in different types of cultural or fashion industry that have made it outside Detroit, but still have their roots and belongs to Detroit, families and so forth. And John Varvatos was one of those folks that carried that Detroit attitude in the world and has made it outside Detroit, and we're proud of those folks that have exemplified Detroit in the best ways. And so we wanted him to be in our communication, and so we did an ad with John that we're very proud of. And then after that, we said, let's do a little project, a little experience of a test, if you will, on this car that's always been known for a great canvas to start from, and to do it as a show car in New York somehow. So that's how it started, the discussion.
Yeah, when I was asked to do the ad campaign, it was a big honor because I was so blown away with what they had done with M&M and how it really emotionally connected so many people, not just with Detroit, but with America and Made in America and the comeback kid and all of that type of thing. And I wanted to be part of that because I grew up in Detroit and my roots are still there. And then, you know, Saad asked me about doing a car for the New York Auto Show, and I was super psyched about that. And knowing that this was the blank canvas to kind of work from, being the 300 and the top of the line for Chrysler, was an exciting opportunity. And excited to come into the Concubines, the design studio in Detroit, and work with the designers there. And for me, as a designer, going into another world was something really exciting. For them, probably a little exciting, possibly work with me, and also a little like, who the hell is this guy coming in here, you know? But in the end, it really worked out super collaboratively, and it started by, you know, him kind of leading the charge.
Yeah, we wanted to do something that's that makes us uncomfortable. Fashion to car industry is a very uncomfortable part because it's you know, we're shackled by the reality of industrial machine that has to be realistic of applying certain design elements, shapes, materials, and forms. And then you talk about the logistics part, the warranty elements, and so forth. So that's why car companies always shy away from ultra creative hands to work on our cars. And so that's why we started it with a test car for a show. But then when we saw the car, we were immediately seduced, and we had to figure out ways to do it. So it was exciting process.
Well,
I should do this again.
Yeah. You know, I think first thing we have to do is get this car out there.
Yes.
I think it's really important is that this car is going to be out in the beginning of next year, I think March of next year. And so everybody's focused on, you know, being able to execute what we have at hand. And I think that's the most important thing. I think in life, you can dream a lot, but if you can't execute, it doesn't really mean anything. And I think in terms of this particular case, everybody kind of took the dream and we brought it to reality, and now we have to be able to manufacture it. So I think that's where we're all focused on. And getting the message across on all the values that this car beholds.
The folks that have seen this car so far as a prototype example has been incredibly impressed with it. Because it actually delivers, other than just a color change to make a so-called buzz model. It's truly delivers on the attributes of what fashion can do to reshape Detroit's iron. And that is something that we want to make as an exclusive exercise. That's why we have 2,000 of them numbered. So the customer can be assured that I'm invested in something that's special and unique that I want to hold on to and give to my kid in the future. So we're building on this kind of an exercise together. It's a little dream we had, and we'll see what happens. So far, so good. I think the future is promising.